Hey guys, and welcome back to another Orville review. I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Connor Kongs.
And today we are talking about episode 4, If the Stars Should Appear.
And they did. At some point, maybe. Is that a spoiler? Or is that just clever?
I think maybe. I think you just totally screwed up our non-spoiler free review.
Nah, it's fine. It's called resolution. Because things end maybe happily. Or do they?
We'll have to see. Anyway.
I mean, come on, the third episode is about a girl. It was about a girl. Come on, spoiler.
True. I gotta say, that's one thing I really appreciate about Orville so far is the choice of episode titles. It's very much like Star Trek, both TOS and TNG. Very appropriate titles. And they actually show the title of the episode, which they don't do in Star Trek Discovery. I appreciate that they show it.
Yes. But this is our
non-spoiler. I know what it's
non-spoiler.
called.
This is our non-spoiler review of episode 4. It's great that now we've got a rhythm with the show. It's been on a few weeks. We now look forward to watching every week. And we're almost beyond the trailer footage. I think the last of the trailer footage was in this episode. But most of it not. And they did a good job just pulling out a little funny bit. And what were your non-spoiler thoughts about this 4th episode then?
An amazing episode. It had very much the heart of Star Trek storytelling as far as I was concerned. Very TOS. Actually reminded me of, well,
we can't
say that.
Of TOS notes and beats and episodes, and
yes, but I'll mention those in the spoiler fill review,
which you should definitely watch too, because we have more fun doing those.
Exactly. But no, overall, it had a great message, great story, good storytelling, good cinematography. I thought it was excellently done, and I totally approve. I mean, if Orville keeps going this way, I think they've definitely hit the high water mark as far as storytelling goes, and I think it's going to be well remembered for sure. So I'm excited. The humor was pretty much spot on this one. There was one or two little awkward ones which didn't really fit, but overall the humor meshed well with this main storyline, in my opinion, and I think that Seth MacFarlane's doing a fantastic job writing these.
So just for, I think you mentioned cinematography. I noticed the cinematography a lot in this, with certain shots just like, ooh, yes, good. Very distinct choices, because there's a lot of slow moments in this episode, but they use the slow moments to show off what they were doing, and I actively appreciated that. And just to point out, the director of this is James L. Conway, who directed Orville, 90210, Charmed, Star Trek Enterprise, DS9, Voyager, Star Trek Borg, the video game, and some Next Generation, Smallville. So a pretty nice set of credit there. Because I was wondering who directed this, because it's got a certain good feel. And next week with Jonathan Frakes. So, but yeah, I thought the cinematography was really good. I liked the story a lot. It was slow, but the pace was strong in terms of build up. I appreciate the continuity from previous episodes. I appreciate the little potential things we're seeding for later on, and I'm excited to talk to you about those in our next review. CG was nice. Characterizations was nice. And we got a great look at the tricorder communicator hybrid, which I'm sure we're going to do an episode on, because this was the one we got to see up close. But overall, I think this was maybe the strongest standalone.
Yeah, I would say so. It was the most
because obviously pilot's the pilot. The second episode with the not theme park, the zoo, a lot of that was the still mentioning the divorce stuff. Like, it was a lot of that stuff, whereas this almost had none of that. I think we're getting more and more distilled down to just the story itself, which I appreciate. It felt, last episode was great too, but that was so about this one big thing.
Yeah, with that being said, they did mention the divorce twice, though.
Oh, sure.
Her cheating on him, and then she said, "I've been through a divorce."
But they were
in the episode.
One, I think, was there for a specific reason. The other was just a nice addition to a scene. Like, that's there weren't scenes dwelling on it so much. I know best thing about this episode without spoiling it.
What's that?
We'll say our best thing and worst thing without spoiling it, just to be annoying / charming.
Best thing is I love the little kind of, it was a very small element, but there was a B storyline that was just very short and sweet. I really loved that part of it. It was really exciting. Got to see some fantastic stuff there. Least favorite thing? That's tough. I don't know. I got to think about that. What's your favorite thing? Let me think about that one.
one that isn't a spoiler, just it. Well, the thing is, it sort of is. Damn it.
Just generalize it.
It's so, okay. A certain character's costume, or costumes, I thought, oh, that's a really good costume. It just reached out to me as good costume design, which is such a weird thing to highlight. But things I can't tell what because it spoils what the plot goes to. But but I'll mention that in the full episode. Okay, so my favourite thing was the overall. There were some excellent lines of dialogue in this. The dialogue, while a lot of the time was very normal, had some really good bits, and so I appreciated every time a good bit came on. Weakest bit, I think, was the pace again. They like their slow stories. There isn't as much of a build to pay off as there could be, and obviously we've seen a lot of television, so we know the broad spectrum. That still wasn't bad by any means, but maybe a little bit of tweaking the editing pace-wise, but that's pretty minimal. It was almost there.
Okay, I still don't have a worse thing. Maybe what you said, because yeah.
I don't know. It's a little bit of pace. It was a good episode. Now, it wasn't like an extremely amazing episode in terms of, but it was a strong piece where, again, it feels like a third or fourth season of a show. You know, you like all the characters, situation you believe, the CG you believe. You know, it's 4 episodes in. I mean, it's beating TNG season 1. It's beating all the Star Trek's by TOS. You know, so
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. So yeah, I guess that's
unhelpful, but that's all.
Exactly. I think the main thing you can take away from this, guys, is that we really enjoyed this episode. And like I said, if it keeps going the way that the show's been progressing, I'm super looking forward to every week, because it's just going to get better and better.
And you know, I think the potential of this show is that we're at a point when science fiction can be relatively cheap, or like the scale has gone up for what you can afford. Whereas, you know, all the old shows, you know, X-Files and Star Treks, they couldn't properly realise some of the concepts. This show is the only show that's doing sort of weekly, unique story. Obviously, like Stranger Things, which is a bit more, you know, or the one that's an anthology, whatever. But this is the only one that is doing different concepts each episode, properly different, so they can actually realise them like we've never seen before. And so I'm excited to see, you know, give them a second, third season, the writing can go even further in terms of what do you want to tell. Okay, it might have been done before, but it's never been done this way. And they're not even. The thing is, they didn't even focus on the CG. Wasn't even the main thing. It was all about the characters, and the reasons. The CG was just helping to. It wasn't a crutch, you know. It was there when it needed to be to sell what was happening. Just like the zoo was, you know. It's just that those couple of shots of the zoo, very well realised, and you've never seen that sort of scale before. So, yeah.
One thing I want to point out too is we saw a lot of new tech in this episode being used, but more in the spoiler full review. But definitely dropped like at least 4 that I really appreciated, and yeah, I was really excited to see those and see. I don't know. I was just really excited because I'm just a nerd. Also, this is not really a spoiler, but it's.
Oh, okay.
There's an excellent guest appearance, a cameo appearance somewhere in the episode that I think a lot of people really appreciate.
Stewie, the Stewie villain. He's back from the future, for the past.
No.
Someone more subtle, actually.
Yeah. What did you think about that surprise?
Someone spoiled it to me this morning, so.
So
what'd
you think hearing it from the person that spoiled it? Then I guess were you like kind of surprised?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I mean it makes sense given who's making the show, and it was great.
Yeah,
no, it was fun.
Okay, good.
I like the 2 extra. Well, I recognise quite a lot of the actors, and one I'll go into in the full review because it's just kind of funny. Yeah, all good. Okay, although one quick question now, each episode previously has focused on a different character. They rebalanced. The first one was obviously the main 2 leads. The second one was Inara. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Alara, thank you. And then the third one was obviously the big guy. Thank you. See, I've almost got their names, but I always forget them. Which was this? Who would this have focused on most? Do you think? Who got the most time?
Was this one? I would say his first officer. Now I can't think of her name now. You just threw me off.
Kelly Grayson.
Yeah, I think it's mainly her episode.
I think it's her and Isaac kind of like other ones that have the extra scenes.
Yes, Isaac had a good part in this one, which I really enjoyed.
But this was definitely more of an ensemble piece.
Yes, I would say so.
I think it probably could have done with being focused again. I would like to have seen. I mean, everyone played a really important part. I will say that they all had to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I kind of wish I liked the fact that each one was getting a character-based story. And I definitely wait to see the Isaac story because they've said a few things in this episode that really are intriguing about what he is. Sorry, what it is. So I'm really intrigued to learn more. Yeah.
So there you have it, guys.
Please watch our full review because we love talking about this stuff, but we want to go through things scene by scene.
Yeah. And as you can see, it's very difficult for us not to talk about it. And
I think we've done well though.
Details.
I think we've teased them, and it's fun to be teased sometimes.
Yes. Anyway, guys, hope you appreciated this spoiler-free review.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen the episode yet, check it out for sure. It's definitely worth watching. And then once you've seen it, of course, go see our full spoiler review because, yeah, we do love talking about this kind of stuff. So we're filming that next.
Yeah, and I guess final out of 10?
Oh, I would say a strong 8.
Yeah, I would say 8, maybe 8.5. Depending, I think the pace let it down a little bit, but 8, solid 8.
So there we go. We agree on that. It's good. Usually we have to get an average somewhere in the middle, but there you go, an 8 out of 10 for this episode. So
yeah.
Anyway, guys, until next time, or until you see the full spoiler review, or whenever you see us next, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Commander Kongs.
And we'll see you soon, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.